Hey guys, George here with Legendary DIY. Today we're making a video on how to thread a steel pipe. Today we're going to be using our rigid threading equipment. Here we have the rigid tri-stand with this 6-inch chain vise. We have our rigid steel tubing cutters, our steel pipe reamer, our manual ratcheting cutter dies with the 1/2-inch dies inserted, because today we'll be demonstrating on 1/2-inch black iron pipe. We have our rigid oiler catch pan combo, and of course it is filled with cutting oil right now. Other thing you might need is a rag to clean off excess oil after you're done cutting the threads, and also to help get the ratchet started when you get ready to start cutting those threads. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we'll get the pipe into the vise. It is very important you have this steel pipe mounted down very good, because you are going to be putting a lot of force down when you use that ratcheting cutter. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off this end, because when you're threading steel pipe, you need a square end. If it's any kind of jagged, if you cut it with a sawzall and you don't have a perfectly square cut, it could mess up your threads. You might not even be able to get the threader started. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to use our steel tubing cutters, but also you could use a bandsaw if you have one. So go ahead and get that semi close to 1/2 inch. All right, and you don't want to get this thing mega tight. You don't want to break that cutting wheel. So give it about 2 turns, and then 1/8 of a turn on the handle. Go another 2 turns, and then another 1/8. And we'll continue doing that until we cut all the way through. Again, these cutting wheels are expensive, so you do not want to put too much force on it and break that cutting wheel. About to come. And there we go. Now we have a nice square end to ream and to start the threading process. Alright. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to ream out the pipe. You don't need too much. A little bit will do you. We're just reaming out that pipe because that cutting wheel displaces that metal, and you get a little bit of lip on the inside after you use those tubing cutters. A bandsaw won't give you that lip, so if you do use a bandsaw, you don't need to ream. But the reason we don't want that lip in there is because it decreases the inside diameter of the pipe, so you don't have a true 1/2 inch of pipe there. It's very important when you're using this pipe for plumbing applications, okay? So now that we've got that reamed out, we can actually start threading this pipe. So before I actually put the threader on, I like to just put a little bit dab of oil in there. Add a little bit just on the end. We'll go ahead and get the ratchet on there. Make sure it's spinning the right way. And this is what I use that rag for. Kind of put a little bit of tension on there, pushing towards the vise to get the ratchet started on the pipe. And once it bites, you can take the rag off. And then about every 3 ratchets, I like to give a little bit of oil. oiling the threads while you're cutting them is very important. If you want to keep these cutting teeth nice and serviceable in the future, use lots and lots of oil. So we're coming just a little bit. All right. Once you've got the end of the pipe all the way to the end of the die, that's how you know you've cut enough threads. You can also take it all the way off and count your threads. 1/2-inch pipe, I believe is 11 threads, 11 to 13. So we're looking good right here. We can go ahead and undo the ratchet and pull back. So we'll flip the clutch here. Turn it out like this. All right. We'll go ahead and wipe those threads down and we'll bring the camera in closer to take a look. Alrighty, there's some good quality threads right there. Yep, be good to go. Reasons you'd want to cut steel pipe for any type of plumbing applications where you're running gas line, air lines, or sprinkler lines commercially. So it's a good skill to know how to do. You know, the equipment is kind of expensive to have your own setup, but you know, if you can use somebody else's stuff, that's awesome too, and you'll know how to thread. So if you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below, and you guys have a good day, all right?